Well, if there is a long list of the things this game fucked up, at the very least it didn't screw with Samus's fanfare. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Metroid Other M, a game which should be quite obvious by now I really don't like, so if you really do like this game and you're absolutely convinced that I'm hating for no reason whatsoever, please click away now. As for those of you who remain, we are now in the Biosphere, Sector 1, and if it's not apparent by now, this game draws heavy, heavy inspirations from Metroid Fusion. We have 3 sectors, and nice little grapple point. Oh, you son of a bitch! God, I am so sick of fucking QuickTime events in gaming. If there's one thing that I'm absolutely sick of, fucking Resident Evil 4 decided to introduce to mainstream gaming and make it some stupid standard for you to always, you always gotta be on your toes. It adds nothing to the fucking gaming experience. It adds nothing to the immersion. It's an excuse for developers to be douchebags to the gamer, that's all. So that was a QuickTime event. Luckily, I managed to remember it in time to not fail at it. But yeah, Metroid Other M takes pretty much every action movie trope or every action gaming trope that you find that most reasonable gamers find annoying. Button mashy experience, very cinematic, over-the-top cutscenes that are way too fucking long, and even more narcissistically, you can't skip. There's no originality to the areas that we're in. Like I said, for those of you who've played Fusion, or at least watched my Fusion Let's Play that I just did, guess what? This is this game's excuse for TRO, Sector 2 from Metroid Fusion. In this game, it's Sector 1, the Biosphere. Sector 2, the Cryosphere, totally not ARC. And of course, Sector 3, the Pyrosphere, totally not PYR. And this right here is an example of why it's pretty much not recommended to... Exploration really isn't rewarded much in this game. You're treated to a lot of dead ends and things that you would want to explore, but due to modern gaming's reliance on plot railroading, as you know, Samus has access to all of her shit already. The refusal to use them, that's a big problem. I could get to the other side of this area and skip quite a bit of this wretched game, but I can't. Anyways, I suppose I should mention that while there's really no point to killing enemies for the sake of pickups or anything like that, there's no reward to that. I mean, they're just there, they're in the way, and once you have certain, like if the game doesn't lock the room up for you like a douchebag, I mean, look at this right here. I'm shooting this fucking thing. I know it's clearly an enemy, but I gotta get close enough. Oh! Sense move out of the way. Always have your hand on that fucking D-pad. Always! God. But we have a nice little 2.5D section here. I'm not going to say that this game does nothing right. There are sections, there are flashes of what could have been a good game. But it takes so many liberties with established, ideals and gameplay styles in the Metroid series just for the sake of being flashy, over-the-top, cinematic. There's no feeling of being methodical in this game anymore. You're literally spamming sense move. You are using Overblast and using the quick charge thanks to the sense move, and you are being steered in one very clear direction, like you saw. I went to that room that the map, the very fucking linear map, might I add, told me not to go to. And was I rewarded? Absolutely not. Not in the least. And as if to add further insult to injury, you cannot continue on your path without going to navigation room after navigation room in this game. It's really kind of ridiculous. And here we have some waivers, traditional Metroid enemy that's been around since the beginning. it's really insult to injury when you consider the fact that, you know, at least in Fusion, as numerous as the fucking navigation rooms were, they were pretty much regulated to the start of the sector, if it was in fact a sector and not the main area. And after that, you pretty much had free reign. Also, more insulting is the fact that these save stations have virtually no purpose, because if you die, the game has very frequent checkpoints, and these checkpoints are pretty much at the start of the current room you're in, if not very close to it. So there's no consequence for dying. There's no reason why you should die, because, like I said, a button mashing, you're constantly sense moving, you know, you're constantly overblasting, but at the same time, despite your desire to destroy all of these enemies, there's no real purpose to any of it. Because the door locks. Do the enemies drop pickups? No. You're constantly forced into these little mini-boss encounters with enemies, and it gets awfully repetitive, awfully overused, and again, either overblast or lethal strike. Sure, it looks pretty, but it gets obscenely boring pretty quickly. And if you hate repetition in gaming, you are going to be facepalming many, many times throughout this, because you're going to be saying, okay, I get it, game. And that right there is an example of this game's douchebaggery. This is why an analog stick, or at least some other form of control scheme, beyond this game's limited, fucking Wiimote only, no extension, no classic controller, no nunchuck. The people who love this gameplay, I question why. I mean, as I said, it's not all bad. There are flashes of what could have been a very good game. But the gameplay is not as amazing as people make it out to be, because it's going to either be overblast if you like to stay in third-person mode, or missile spamming if you want to be maybe more efficient, maybe not, I don't know. And a super missile. This is what we need. We're not going to have access to super missiles for quite some time. It's kind of bad. And that quote-unquote, as Fusion calls it, perfect military mind, and if I may steal a quote from this game, the efficiency of a situation, I'm just going to demonstrate right now. This is a pipe, a tube. Nothing I can do is going to break this fucking thing. Absolutely nothing. It's our way out, but we can't break it yet. Why can't we break it yet? We have doors that are meaningless. Oh, and here we have the over-the-shoulder perspective again. You remember when I said before how this could have been used, like you could have gone into a control aspect or actual combat aspect with this. I am pressing everything I have. Every fucking button. I mean, I can concentrate if I actually was low on ammo. I can concentrate, but I can't morph ball. I can't run. I can't do anything. I can't fire, because there is no threat in this mode. You may be treated to a douchebaggy QuickTime event very shortly afterwards, but the mode itself is meant to promote suspense, but very shortly on you're going to realize that there is no point to the mode besides just slowing you down. So, oh my god, breathe, land.
Looked like something had been raised in it. And in one corner was the miserable form of a researcher's corpse.
The miserable form of
this
Metroid's
victim hadn't
corpse.
sustained the same injuries. The dead I'd seen had been torn apart by something large. This one had been attacked by a different type of creature.
A different type of creature.
And as I studied the violence this creature had wrought, I felt something in the air. The presence of a dark intelligence.
Ooh. And you can go into first-person view if you want. There's no purpose to it. Lab worker. Like I said, this is going to be, not particularly here, but the pixel hunts that I described earlier are going to have you in situations where you're looking around for something very specific. Most of the time the game, with the cutscene before, assuming that you give two fucks about any of the cutscene's contents, most of the times it'll give you a clue as to what you're looking for, but sometimes you'll have no fucking idea as to what you're looking for. And it's bad enough that when you are doing these pixel hunts, and just as a little demonstration here, we have a zoomer inside this pipe now, and now we can blow it open, and out it goes. I'm not really sure what the difference between zoomers and gamers are in the traditional Metroid series. I know there's a difference in Prime, obviously, but I'm not familiar with the difference, so I just call them zoomers because, you know, easier. And this area is entirely pointless for right now. There's a little morph ball area to get inside, but there's just a whole bunch of waivers and shit in there that I don't want any part of. And here we go. The door is locked. Why is the door locked? Plot railroad. And like I said, usually, but you can't be too quickly when doing these pixel hunts, because if you go over it too quickly, I mean, it's obvious what you're looking for. You're looking for the rustling bush. But in these areas where it's not obvious, if you go over it too quickly, the game, like, even this is not that quickly. You have to literally go like this, and there. Just an example. I mean, I'm showing you because you know what you're looking for. Hi there! You look like a Pokemon. What do you evolve into, little guy?
Hi, my name's little Birdie. I like to look cute and
Proceed
white.
through the hatch I just unlocked. Your next destination is a little further ahead.
Totally not foreshadowing right here. Look at my cute little tail wag, Sammy.
Oh my god. Fucking little Birdie. One of the many bastardizations. And I can't fault the game. Do I dare spoil it? I mean, I pretty much did with the voice, but whatever. Some of you still don't know. Some of my viewers, for whatever reason, don't know who Slow Beef and Diabetes of Retsupre are, and the comedic genius that they made when they gave a certain character in the Metroid series a voice, but whatever. And this is an example of what I was talking about right here. When you destroy all of the enemies in an area, if the area has a pickup for you to, well, pick up, you will get a little sort of ringing sound for a couple of seconds, and you'll see it pop up on your map. Well, just gonna test something here. Yeah, I didn't think so. These breeding facilities are heavily assisted by holograms, hologram projectors that are meant to, I guess, assist with the animals adjusting to the environment. So, pretty much, like Metroid Fusion, you're in a big interstellar zoo. What the purpose of that interstellar zoo is, well, we'll find out later. Anyways, let's continue, and hopefully we don't run into little Birdie again. Oy, 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 oy. These zoomers keep coming. And I'm going to say right now, I don't like how this game decides to always make first-person view mandatory. And not only does it make it mandatory, for many bosses, you have to go into the mode and fire a missile when the charge beam in previous established areas has been a suitable alternative. But this particular panel, you may have seen it as I was approaching. It was red. And as you get close enough to it, it becomes green. So basically, these charge panels are proximity-based. If you're not close enough to it, then it doesn't matter if you make a crack shot at it from 900 yards, pitting the ace, as they call it. It doesn't matter if you're a great shot. Like, imagine, for example, if Flagra, it doesn't matter how good of a shot you are. If you were firing at Flagra's solar panels, you know, the first really major boss in Metroid Prime, I don't count the Parasite Queen. Imagine if that was the case. You were fighting Flagra, and you wanted to fire at it from an ungodly distance, and you could hit it from an ungodly distance, but the game said, nope, not gonna let you. You gotta do it our way. It's this lack of options that is all over this fucking game. It's nauseating. That's all I have to say on it. But here we have... I haven't mentioned that I do appreciate some of this game's aesthetics. You know, some of the, you know, tunnel areas that are trying to replicate, like, subterranean Brinstar, I'm not too big a fan of. But these wide open areas, you got this weird kind of atmosphere or aurora borealis in the sky or whatever it is. It's really beautiful. And visually, this game is kind of all over the place. But it's these areas that, you know, make me feel that in a better game would have added to that better game. But as it is, the visuals, no matter how gorgeous they are, they're not the primary reason why you should like the game. And revealing that it was in fact a hologram all along seems to have angered this guy. And in case you're not aware by now, side hoppers love Overblast. You can, of course, missile them, but... oh, fuck you, game. You can, of course, missile them, but later enemies just don't like that. So I'm going to concentrate my shit back. Hi there! How are you doing? And in case it wasn't obvious when I was demonstrating it for the big eyeball enemy, again, I don't give two shits what the hell it was called. I don't give two shits what this enemy is called. This two-headed asshat. Okay, he's got either a fat ass or a very skinny ass, depending on what you consider the ass. Regardless. Easy. If he charges at you, even if he doesn't charge at you, like, always be shuffling in place just in case the game decides to throw a douchebag move your way. My very first time through this game, the only things that I ever died to were douchebag QuickTime events. That's it. And Metroid has never been particularly hard, but there have been some moments, and here we have a reason why it's completely irrelevant to have those moments. Concentration. Concentrate your health back. And I mean, even if you have to get out of the way, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm way the fuck out of the way. I gotta go back, but there's really no reason why you should die besides QuickTime events or if you're doing a hard mode run or something like that. And like I said, hard mode is arbitrary difficulty. That is all. It limits you even more than the game itself does. So you can't get any pickups, you can't get any energy, well, any pickups of any kind. They're all gone. And again, since I have destroyed every enemy in this area, I can see that in way over here a corner that I can't get to. Well, I could get to, but Samus chooses not to. Ah, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Authorization is not a valid reason why Samus does not start out with all of her abilities, guys. It's not a valid reason. I don't give two fucks what you say. It's not a valid reason. Because the whole point of Adam's perfect military mind is that a lot of the decisions that he decides to, for why Samus starts using things, is, well, it would be more efficient to do it that way. Guess what? It'd be efficient if you started me off with all my shit immediately. It would be efficient if, you know, I could grapple beam, or start off with my Various suit, or gravity suit. And again, there's no reward to killing these enemies besides just having the game be like, oh, well, if there happens to be something in this room, we'll show it to you. And I really suck at these downward slope puzzles. Well, not puzzles, but sections. And another navigation room. But like I said before, the checkpoints throughout this game are obscenely numerous. Almost, like, more numerous than these fucking navigation booths, of which there are a huge amount, regardless. But anyways, I mean, so we can't go forward this way, because the door is locked. Why the door is locked, I really couldn't tell you. But anyways, hey guys, guess what? Welcome to Jurassic Park. Dun, 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 dun. These wood brachiosaurus enemies, tree dinosaur things. There's far too many of them in this game. And anyways. Oh, by the way, in case you aren't aware, you're playing a woman, so you belong in the ladies' room. What the fuck is the point of these bathrooms besides, oh, hey, by the way, Samus is a girl. We just thought we'd let you know that. Can't go into the men's room, Samus. No, can't do that. Snake, he had the balls to enter the ladies' room, but you're a prim and proper girl, so this is off limits to you. My God. Alright. Oh no! Puffers! And I think very close by. Yeah. This is the elevator shaft. There's a lot of these in this game. You're gonna notice a lot of set pieces are constantly reused. A lot of the same types of enemies are reused. There's another type of zoomer later on called, like, the snowmer, or whatever it is. And it's just a stronger zoomer that takes place, or that you find in the Arctic region. There are, you know, those nests with the Rios in them. There are fire versions and ice versions. So, I mean, go figure, enemy variety for the win. But our mission, should we choose to accept it, regardless or not, we have another one of those godforsaken motherfucking chameleon enemies climbing up very slowly, so it's our job to crush it. And this is another one of the game's big fuck you moments where if... It makes sense. It makes sense why, if you were in that shaft and could not, like, get down to shoot this thing, to shoot the elevator out, it would make sense that, yeah, it would kill you. So, it's common sense. But, as I mentioned before, there are areas which are maybe not common sense, where the game does nothing more than decide to say, screw you, and QuickTime events kill you. It's far too numerous, and that's not challenge. Just like this game's hard mode is not actual challenge. Anyways. The Metroid fan in me is always looking for things to do, but most of the upgrades in this game are pretty obvious very quickly, as a matter of fact. show. Alright, we have this little morph ball area. And the problem with this game, as opposed to the Prime games, is that there's not a lot of real exploration in any of these morph ball areas. You know how in Super Metroid some of the morph ball areas would actually be, you know, kind of simplistic mazes? This carries none of that feel. Prime was actually really good in how it made some of its mazes, but as usual, my reward for desiring to explore is an inaccessible little area. Fuck you, game! Fuck you! Anyways, I know that there is a missile tank over here, so just spring ball out of the way. Hey, when did you get the authorization to use spring ball, Samus? Just saying. I mean, if you can't use space jump, surely spring ball must be just as harmful to the space station for you continuing to use it. You noticed earlier in the bathroom that I picked up, and I don't know why I didn't mention at the time, but I was on my little rant about, hey, you're a woman, stay in the fucking kitchen, Samus. I picked up something called an Excel charge. Samus's normal beam, and this is something that I kind of faulted the Prime games for as well. Not the Prime games. Well, yeah, the Prime games as well. Well, no, not the Prime games. Fusion is that your regular beam, it becomes obsolete very quickly. Most of your offense is going to come from missiles or charge beam, which is why you're almost constantly going to be charged. It was the same in Fusion, it's the same here. At least in Prime, if you decided to fire at an enemy, it would do a little bit of damage. In fact, in Prime Trilogy, it was far easier to do it that way because you were doing all of the manual aiming, and it might have been harder to hit a moving target. So, what the fuck? Whatever. I guess I should look at this little moss area. And out of curiosity... Well, no, curiosity's a bad thing in this game. Out of curiosity, what the... Whoa! Oh! Was that a Foon? Because that looked like a fucking Foon from Super Metroid. Obviously. Obviously this is a fucking enemy. Obviously. I know it's an enemy. It's in the way just like it's a fucking enemy. Let me shoot the damn thing! It's like, no! We're gonna do all of the imagination for you! You're too stupid to actually explore. Or you're too stupid to understand that that's an enemy. So, we'll do all the thinking for you. But what I picked up earlier was an Excel charge, and you're going to get, is it 5 or 6 of these throughout the game? Let me just check real quick, I'm actually curious enough. It doesn't give you a maximum number. I think it's 6 actually. But you're going to get quite a few of these, and you're going to be able to start launching charge shots like Pez dispensers. The game does an okay job of making you feel like a badass. But that's never really been what Super Metroid's... well, not just Super Metroid, but every Metroid game. It's never really been the core essence of what it's about. That was maybe the end result. You don't have to feel like a badass all the way through. In fact, the more vulnerable you feel, the better the experience. Case in point, Metroid Fusion. Whatever. Nice little loading screen game. Oh, by the way, the door's locked. Oh no! We have another forced little mini-boss fight! Combat is very much at the forefront of this game. But, I mean, that was the beauty of the other Metroid games. You could kind of pick your fights, especially if you were lower on health. Like that was the whole point of health pickups, or missile pickups, or anything like that, or power bombs. Any kind of pickup you could imagine. By the way, power bombs. I guess that's Bendesium. Fuck you, game. So we have another nav booth, and I feel this is a good stopping point. We have another boss fight ahead, which is not really much of a boss fight. I don't know what to say, guys. I'm starting to get more and more despondent the more I play this game. So I will see you guys next time on Metroid Other M. I'm not going to call this a Let's Play. This is just what the fuck ever. Where we will continue with not TRO, but instead the Biosphere. Which, oh boy, we have quite a bit of headaches coming up shortly. So, on that note, have a good day, everybody.